Everybody, this is Dan Talk Sense, and today I'm going to do a fragrance review of a fragrance called Purple Gourmand. It's by the house of Pocket Scents UK. I was kindly sent a decant by one of my subscribers. I've heard great things about this one, so if you want to know what my thoughts are on this fragrance and whether I think that you should buy it, please stay tuned. Today I'm going to do a review which I've been planning to do for quite a while. One of my subscribers, Russell Kerr, has been really supportive, fantastic. He sent me a number of decants. Majority of them were from a company called Pocket Scents UK. They're a fairly new company. I've been made aware of them because a number of fellow fragrance reviewers from the UK have been doing videos on them. Barry from Centralised recently did a review on Purple Gourmand, and that's one of the fragrances that I've been sent to review by Russell. So I thought I'll do this one first because it's fresh in the mind. When Barry did his review, it's a really good review. You should definitely check his review out. He listed a number of the notes in the fragrance. I think pear was one of them. I haven't looked at the notes yet. What I'm going to do is just do a first impression without looking too much into the notes, but from what I remember, there were notes that I really like in fragrances. To give you an example, probably my favourite fragrance in my collection that's my super reliable number one is Spice Bomb Extreme, because I believe it's a designer fragrance, but it could be classed as a niche quality. And I know we said, should we use niche as a way of describing the quality of a fragrance, and maybe not, because some niche fragrances aren't great, but that's just to give you an example of what I class as a really good sort of gourmand fragrance. When we say about gourmand, what we're really saying is they resemble like the smell of a dessert. The most obvious one, I think, if I could say to somebody, would be the one that smells of tiramisu. I think it's Ferragamo Umo, if I remember. One of my colleagues wears it. It smells of tiramisu, like spot on. It smells absolutely beautiful. I would class Gourmand as anything with, like vanilla, creamy chocolate, toffee, anything like that. So I am looking forward to wearing this. I think this would be, without smelling it, I think this will be an autumn winter scent. The climate today in the UK is about 16 degrees. We've just had 2 days of humid weather. And if you've been watching my channel previously, you'll know that a couple of days ago I filmed my summer top 10 list in Caradoc in Shropshire, and it was absolutely humid, but I really enjoyed doing the video. Today's a bit cooler. I think this will be fair on this fragrance if it's a gourmandy type one, and I'll let you know how it performs and do a bit of a diary. It might just be me going out to get my essentials and feeding back throughout the day what I think, and I'll let you know whether I think it's worth buying. So just to put it on my skin, so there's one on the left arm, one on the right, and behind the neck. So just put that down there. What you get with this, it's like a sort of you definitely get the pear, which I remember Barry saying, I think he mentioned about pear, but you get like a creamy part to it, almost vanilla, and it's one of those sort of dessert type fragrances where you can imagine like a bowl of cream or something. So I know already it's going to be one of those fragrances that you'll really love wearing in the winter when you go around Christmas markets and stuff and it's freezing and it'll cut through that cold air. But what I'm going to do, it's only fair that I see how it develops on my skin throughout the day. I'm going to head to the shops, get a feel for what I do is get a feel for the climate by having a nice walk first. If it's really dismal, it kind of puts me off cycling a long distance because I'll get absolutely soaked and it won't be really pleasant on the video to see me absolutely drenched. But who knows, if the weather holds up, it might be a video with a nice backdrop and stuff. because I do like doing that. So if you want to know more about Purple Gourmand, so not today. I'm not going to be able to do it today. It's a shame really, but I'll do my conclusion in a second. Back in the house. With this one, you've got caramel and coffee in the top, pear, jasmine and coconut in the mid, with musk, vanilla, patchouli and ambergris in the base. Weather's a bit unpredictable today, and it's unfortunate because I wanted to show you some nice backdrops. So, I tend to do that in my videos, but let's get down to what you want to hear, and that's what I think of the fragrance and whether you should buy it. Well, I'll tell you straight away that I really like this fragrance. I definitely think that you should go out and buy it. The reason for that is because with Gourmand fragrances, it's hard to get the balance right. They can sometimes be too cloying and too sickly sweet, and it puts people off around you. I think they've got this right. They've used a pear note in there, as I mentioned earlier, and it's not the most sour note, in terms of fruit. It seems to work well with the other notes. So you've got the coffee there, you've got the vanilla there as well. And it just works really well. The most prominent note though is caramel sort of note. It is absolutely beautiful. And if I was to, I call this smell-o-vision, because what I need to do is try and get it across to the subscribers and the viewers what this actually smells similar to. Now I can give you some examples of fragrances that I've smelled. I've not smelled as many fragrances as some other reviewers, but I have smelt some Killian fragrances before, and it did remind me of them. There's a fragrance called Black Phantom. It did remind me of that a little bit because that's got dark chocolate and coffee. This has got the caramel and coffee, but it was a similar vibe. It also reminded me of some Zara fragrances that I've smelt before, and they are if you've smelt Rich, Warm and Addictive, and those tobacco collection ones, but what you have with Zara is it's a beautiful smell, but they just don't have the performance and the projection. I've been wearing this all day. I'm still smelling it around me. When I was wearing it through town, I had a nice big scent bubble. Projection wise, it is well above average, and I was just really pleased, because recently I've smelled a number of niche fragrances and they just haven't performed on my skin, and it's so frustrating because other reviewers out there are saying that they really like a fragrance, they're getting great performance. Subscribers are commenting saying they've had great performance from it. Just the way it is, we've all got different skin types, but with this, it was unbelievable. Really good performance and projection. I know I mentioned earlier about Spice Bomb Extreme, and I know there'll be people out there that will say Spice Bomb Extreme isn't a Gourmand fragrance, but it was what came into my mind because that's really heavy on the vanilla, and so this has got really prominent vanilla in it, and I'm just trying to get across to the viewer what I was sort of comparing it to and what came into my mind, and why I was excited about smelling the fragrance, because I just really enjoy, as one of my subscribers said, why, they don't want to smell like food, and they don't see why people would want to, and it's an interesting thing, but I think that there's some fragrances, like I mentioned before, there's the Umo, I think it's by Ferragamo, and that smells like tiramisu, and my work colleague wears that and it just smells absolutely beautiful. This is just a really well put together fragrance. It's not overcomplicated. It's 3 or 4 notes in the top, middle and bottom, and they just all seem to work well together. I think if you like the Killian fragrances, if you smell those Zara ones, you'll really like this. It won't offend people around you. Really good performance projection. But the thing that's really important to get across to the viewer is that the smell of this is beautiful. And I don't always say that about fragrances, but it's one of those fragrances where you keep smelling your wrist, you keep smelling inside your elbow, and when you're getting whiffs of it, you feel good. You're like, I smell really good, and it makes you feel good. I just want to say, well done to Matt of Pocket Sense, because I've not spoken to him yet. He has commented on different people's Instagrams I've seen. He seems like a down to earth guy. He's done some live Instagram chats and YouTube chats with some of the reviewers. And I just want to say well done, because it's a really good fragrance and I can't wait to smell the others. I also want to thank Russell for sending me those decants through, because I can smell the rest this week. They've done interpretations of more, well-known fragrances. This was one of their own creations, but I really like it, and I think I am going to buy a bottle. And I'll say to all the subscribers out there, if you like sweet Gourmand fragrances, go and buy this one. It's really, really good quality, and it's about £50 for 50 mils, around that mark, which for me, I think that's really good value, especially when it's an extrait to parfum, because that means it's going to project longer, perform longer, and people around you are going to smell it. But that's a good thing, because it's fantastic. Now, I don't think I could say any more to tell you how much I like it. I won't go on any more. I just want to say thank you to everybody that's been watching my channel. I'm really enjoying the journey. I'm going to review more Pocket Sense fragrances throughout the week. So I'll be speaking to you all very soon, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekend.